All right, I'm here with Doug Stanton. Doug, you just shared you coming to Christ through brokenness, and God did some pretty wild things early on for you, where you were physically messed up.
Yeah, as a young boy, I had what they call Sherman's disease in my back, which created a scoliosis. So it was where the vertebrae go chalky, and so they don't hold, and so your backbone just starts to drift. So I had an S, like a curvature of the spine. So I used to always hold my head like that, and I was an athlete with a lot of pain. I played football and basketball with a lot of pain. But so that is at the age of 12, I couldn't get out of bed because of the pain. So I spent a lot of years in chiropractors' offices and things like that. Never took pain medicine. I just wasn't in my family's deal to do that. So I just always put up with pain and always wriggling to find that place of comfort. But so when I got saved, that was one of the first things that God did for me, was to heal my spine, which was, I hadn't been to church yet, and God's fixed up something which was a lifetime illness. But as a young man at 19, I had my head smashed in through a split rim on a truck-tail farming sawmilling family.
Yeah.
And the whole front of my head was smashed in. And I won't go into all the gory details, but as a result of that, I had epilepsy, and they repatched and rebuilt after they vacuumed out all the messy part of my brain and patched it up. And but God healed me of epilepsy years later, and so it's in those same years, my brother was dying of cancer at the age of 30, and God healed him. He's still not saved to this day.
That's interesting, because he's now 73.
73.
Told he'd never have children.
Yeah, the doctors said because it was testicular cancer, and he had things removed.
Yeah.
And so obviously his wife had the next babies, not him.
Right.
But he has twins, and they're one's 6'5", one's 6'8", and they're big boys, and they're all married, and there's heaps of grandkids. So God interrupted in that life. I don't think he just thinks, I was there when the doctors said there is no, we've done everything we can, it's not getting any better. The Anglican minister that was our minister at the time, he came to the family and said, there's glory in death. And I remember just thinking, no, that's my brother.
Yeah.
And I went out and had a cry, came back, and I stood at the foot of his bed, and I said, you will live and not die. And I was a baby Christian then, but when God keeps, when these are what you cut your teeth on, and then my brother's still alive today, 73, and a grandpa, and healthier than most people. He's just one now of thousands, hundreds, and I don't know. I don't number things. But there's so many people that are alive today because you tell your story. If God would do it for my brother and me, he'd do it for you. And so if anyone's listening to this, they need to know I wasn't a clever person. I wasn't a Christian that deserves all this or something, I was just someone that God sent his son to die for. And when I just simply believed, and someone was with me who believed even more, these miracles happen. So I'm pretty excited about it. And I'm 68 now, and I got saved when I was 22, and I haven't lost my excitement.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
And you mentioned going harder. Like you're not retiring, you're refiring right now.
Oh yeah. I used to think as 65-year-olds, when you retire, then my older brother retired very successfully at 55 on his farm. He was a builder as well.
Yeah. And
so I'm now 68, and I just can't. I would never retire. I might retread.
So when you think about, I've been with you now this is the 7th day in a row where you're preaching, and it's not an hour. I mean, you go hard. When you say you go hard, I mean, last night we saw some incredible things, and it was after 11 o'clock when some of the best things came out. And you started at 7:30.
Well, You know, it's like this, Scott. Paul said, like a master builder, I laid a foundation that no one else can lay, which is Jesus Christ. Then upon that you build with silver and gold. So I find every night you're building in the Spirit. And so we're starting to feel a stronger connection with God, 7 days into this, and we've still got time to go. And so I would love to stop at 8 o'clock and get everyone home early, and I would love more sleep too. But, there is a process of getting a person to receive. And when someone's dying of cancer, or someone has, tumours in their body, like a lady came up to me right after I closed the meeting last night, and she had a decaying tumour on her tongue. Like I could smell the death in that thing. And, like if we went home at 8, she wouldn't even get to that point of wanting to come and ask for help. So how many come to our churches, and when we just do a nice service and we preach a nice message, and they're desperate for God to do something, and we're worried about sleep and we go home.
So I want to dig a little bit deeper into that in our next episode, because revival is truly what you've lived your life, and you've seen it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm talking with you right now, is we want to stir these people to know that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if you think for a second that he's done working, remove that thought, because you're a perfect candidate.
Amen.